later and yet again gulf the earth. The three friends decided to show what they're worth. The world is spreading sickness, so they tried to spread mirth. And that's how we'll get through. It's Duck and COVID. Yes, Duck and COVID. We can't just be like turtles, we're humans too. You and you and you. Duck and COVID.
Sup, South Africa, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 61 of Duck and Covered. We have a very special episode up tonight in dedication to one of the world's legends. One of the world's legends for us little geekies and nerdy boys. But before we get stuck into the episode, I just want to invite my other co-hosts onto the screen. That is Matt, James, Dunk. Yes, we have the full team here tonight, including Doug on news, who we'll meet a bit later. But we all just had to join in for this episode. Matt, you look a little cold there. Huh?
I'm a little chilly. I'm not gonna lie.
You're just a little chilly, just a little bit,
just a little cold.
We need to just give a little heads up as well. If Duncan just mysteriously disappears, it's because he's being load shed. So we're playing the odds. We're seeing what's happening.
The old authoritarian government letting me know when I'm allowed to have light, when I'm not, when I'm allowed to eat food. You know, it was a tough day at the gulag today. We worked hard.
We had a really kind of emotionally complex day because we were due to be load shedded from 12 until 4. And then it never happened.
Lose meters.
So like we were sitting there going like, are we going to lose it? Are we going to lose it? Yay, no electricity. But when are we going to lose it? Yay, we've got electricity. Wait, when are we going to lose it?
What is the working past tense of load shedding? Because like if you go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, there's no term like load shedding or load shed doesn't exist as a word. First of all, so would the past participle be I was load shedded or load shed? Oh no, I was load shed earlier. I was load shedded. We need to coin the term.
What is our English
jump in here? It's load shed because you shed hair, you shed a load, you load shed.
So is
Absolutely load shed.
Okay, so load shed is not one. We're gonna just stick to no load shed.
I mean, that should be my one.
I shed my load. Oh no,
I shed
my load.
Shed all over your face. But on that note, everybody, let's go over to the news with Doug.
And now, the news with Doug.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this evening's news with Duck and COVID. Jumping straight in with the international statistics, we saw an increase globally, up to midnight last night of just under 196,000 new cases, bringing us to over 13.3 million cases worldwide, with just under 5 million active cases. The number of people who have recovered are now just over 9 million. Just over 7 million, with the number of deaths being just under 600,000. The global mortality rate remains at 7%. In South Africa, even though people have all been behind their houses and opening windows in their taxis, we did see an increase of 11,500 cases yesterday, bringing our total up to 287 odd thousand. That means we remain in 10th place in the world rankings. Of that, the active cases are just over 145,000, with just over 139,000 people having recovered from the virus. Unfortunately, yesterday, 93 people were reported to have died as a result of COVID-19, bringing our national total to 4,172. That means that our our national mortality rate of resolved cases has dropped by 0.01% to 2.93%. The South African National Editors Forum, SANEF, has once more voiced its concerns over what it refers to as President Cyril Ramaphosa breaking his promise to answer questions from the media following his address to the nation on Sunday evening. The forum had previously raised concerns over the evasiveness of the president in responding to questions following the numerous addresses that he has made to the nation since the start of the lockdown in March in response to COVID-19. The latest concern raised by SANEF comes after former Gauteng Premier Mbazima Shilowa said that it was concerning that the media was not asking the president questions following his briefings. However, SANEF told Shilowa that the organization pleaded with the president and his office to allow questions at their last engagement with SANEF. Presidency spokesperson Kusile Diko has yet to respond to a request for comment. Of course, it must be said that there is no doubt that he will continue to not take questions because obviously Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma cannot vet the questions beforehand. The Department of Health will be switching to a new system to release the country's daily COVID-19 statistics. When asked why the ages of those who had succumbed to the virus was no longer being released daily, National Health Ministerial spokesperson Dr. Lwazi Manzi revealed that a new system was in the works. Manzi did not provide the details on the system, nor when it will come into effect. The Department of Health has been releasing daily statistics in PDF format since the first case of the virus in March. Let's hope the new system makes more sense than the new regulations. An expert has warned that commuters spending more than 20 minutes in a fully loaded taxi without proper ventilation are at risk of being infected with COVID-19, even if they wear a face mask. In fact, if you spend more than 20 minutes in a taxi loaded to 100% capacity, you risk being infected with any contagious disease, Dr. Angelique Katia, president of the SA Medical Association, SAMA, said on Tuesday. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced on Sunday that taxis would be permitted to increase their capacity to 100% while undertaking local trips. Long-distance taxis, however, are still to remain at 70%. After recent evidence indicating the airborne spread of the virus, Kutsia said the onus was on the taxi industry to open all windows while transporting commuters. Kutsia said all literature showed that the contact time should not be more than 20 minutes in proximity to others to avoid being infected with COVID-19. She also said that the government should look at other transport measures. Minister Zweli Mkhize, however, said has ensured commuters that opening the windows helps decrease the risk of catching the virus by stopping the water droplets in the air. If you believe that, I have some bottom land to tell you. I just don't ask me what it is on the bottom of. And some sad news for chocoholics. Nestle South Africa has confirmed it will stop producing the chocolate log from August. The chocolate log has been around for 50 years. In a statement, Nestle thanked its loyal customers for their support over the years and assured them a variety of delicious chocolates will be launched in the coming months. Truly a sad day for all of us. And finally, Grant Imahara, an electrical engineer and roboticist who hosted the popular science show Mythbusters and Netflix's White Rabbit project, has died. An electrical engineer and roboticist by training, he joined Discovery's Mythbusters in its third season, replacing Scotty Chapman, and was with the show until 2014, when he left with co-hosts Carrie Byron and Tori Bellecci. The trio would reunite in 2016 for Netflix's White Rabbit project, which lasted for only one season. On Mythbusters, Imahara used his technical expertise to design and build robots for the show, and also operated the computers and electronics needed to test the myths. While part of the Mythbusters team, he skydived, drove stunt cars on films, and on film sets he came into contact with some of the most iconic characters in screen history, installing lights onto Star Wars R2-D2, creating the robot Jeff Peterson for The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, and working on the Energizer Buzzy. Imahara died suddenly following a brain aneurysm. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. He was 49 years old. And that's all the time we have for the news. Back to the studio.
That was the news with Doug.
Welcome, Doug. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, that's a bombshell.
Doug, I'd like to say that it's pronounced bunny, not buzzy.
Did I say Energizer Buzzy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why either. There was no Z in that sentence whatsoever.
No, it's the Energizer. How
I
are
have
you going to be a TEFL teacher if you can't even figure out what letters are in words?
I will come over there and smack you with a ruler, young Matt. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Right, your wife is watching.
Young
And
I personally think that if a bunny is charging, then it is Buzzy. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, guys, to get into the discussion for tonight, I saw the article earlier on today, just for our viewers. I think it was about 9:00 this morning, and I sent a message through to the group, and I was just like, guys, we have to talk about this tonight. I don't know about you guys, but Mythbusters was such a huge part of like my late teens and pretty much all throughout my 20s. And Grant Imahara was like integral to that team. And I just, man, I don't know. Like, what was your guys' favorite episode? Like,
I mean, for me, it was always like, if I wanted any job, it was either going to be a job on Mythbusters or on Top Gear. Those were like my two.
yeah.
The one thing is, I think, look, I remember quite clearly, like every December they used to have every rerun ever on Discovery Channel when you're on holiday. So you sort of like, that's what you ended up watching, like every day, like the omnibus of Mythbusters from like season 1 to whatever. And it is a sad thing, because I think a show like Mythbusters sort of really got into a lot of younger like kids' minds about how science is actually cool. They sort of pushed the boundary of the idea of what you can do with science, because I think for the most part, when you picture science, you just think bunch of guys, lab coats sitting there testing like random things, and at the end of the day,
like really
like a beautiful mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's sort of like where what Mythbusters did is they had these guys that are scientists and obviously also into the movie game, because I know Grant was integral in a part of a lot of video and obviously adverts and movie sets, and it shows you that like if you're a scientist, you don't have to sit in a lab coat all day. You can go out, blow shit up, record it, and go, well, that's what happened. and I think a show like
people pay money
Mythbusters,
for it.
yeah, correct. And I think a show like Mythbusters and the group that they had, it sort of did do a lot for the youth, in that it made science interesting. Like it was going, shit, there is more to this than meets the eye. And like you said, Grant and Carrie, and I forget the other guy's name now, the Italian guy.
Tori.
Those three on the side were essentially just like the real characters of the show. Because, you had Adam Savage, and those three had this thing. And I've just seen on Twitter now Tori tweeting out, I mean, he's like, what can I say? Like, I don't have any words. It is, your best friend and work colleague dying. So like, man, it's shattering stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, like those three saved that show. Eh?
Yeah, well, I think that they were certainly integral in making it an all-around experience. And I mean, we must remember that they did do some things rather responsibly. For example, when they tested their combination of certain chemicals and made such a massive explosion that they decided not to air the episode and instead got hold of DARPA and said, "Listen, guys, just so you know, these chemicals go big boom." And then, of course, some things not so responsibly when they fired a cannonball at a bomb disposal range and missed. And it flew 700 yards through the bedroom window in which a family was sleeping.
Jesus.
And eventually came to a stop by hitting a minivan. So, you're busy, father, right? And then the minivan gets taken.
Can you imagine being that family? Ew.
Sorry, I just want to know, how the hell would you fill out the insurance forms? So we were sleeping, right? And you wouldn't believe me. I promise you, I haven't been drinking again. I stopped drinking a year ago. But a cannonball, I know this isn't the Civil War, but a cannonball came through the window, fucked everything up. I promise you. How the hell do you
We're leaving this neighborhood. We're out. We're moving.
It's
Done with
going to
this, Jim.
take more than the little box that they provide on the form to provide to answer the question for that one.
The way I see it is I am going to inform Discovery that they need to completely remodel at their own cost. And I'm going to demand like a gold-plated toilet. Is all I'm saying. I could have died.
I never really got the point of a gold-plated toilet. I like that. That seemed like just why.
It's for fancy poos. What do you mean? If you feel like taking a fancy poo, hop on the tiny tub and drop one out.
I think we just need to quickly reel back to the point of our conversation is talking about the untimely passing of pretty much a TV legend before we go into some random thing about golden toilets, which just seems strange.
You were talking about the fact that they were involved with films, and one of my absolute favorites, the episodes that they dealt with, I'm not sure if we have a clip, I did send one through, is the one on the Green Hornet, which was Seth Rogen's supposed superhero movie, right? Where they get covered over with sand. So the Green Hornets and his sidekick blow up the sand and flip the car over so they can escape. And so they decided to do to do this to see if it was actually possible.
Well, shall we take a look at that one then?
Yeah, let's have a gander.
I kind of like the way Doug describes it better.
Yeah. I mean, I never saw the Green Hornet.
You didn't miss much. I can tell you for free.
But did I not?
Oh, I enjoyed Green Hornet.
Parameter for parameter. Dig a hole, take the Black Beauty, strap some rockets on the front, put it in that hole with a couple of dummies in the back seat. That's you, Kato. Cover it with dirt, park the bulldozer on the dirt, blow the hole. Right.
I mean, every guy in history wants to be able to say, and then we blow the whole thing sky high.
Every single day of my life.
Holy shit.
And then we find out if the explosives on the car are actually enough to move this bulldozer. All right, this is Green Hornet, the actual test, going for broke in 3, 2, 1, fire!
I'll tell you this for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So, guys,
Oh, damn,
we just
spoiler
have some
alert.
little
Hello.
questions here. We have some questions here from the audience. Are we talking about golden toilets or golden showers?
Oh my, sure. Oh
Go
my.
and here's saying any poo is the fancy poo if you wear a top hat. And then Sean says a top crap with a top hat. I mean, you know, guys, these are the facts. We can't argue with them.
Let's see, people are getting on board.
One of my favorite myths that they covered was that, you know, that scene in James Bond in Goldfinger where he dives in this dry suit and then he gets out the beach and he pulls it off and he's in a tuxedo and he walks right into the party. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, right. So speaking of fancy, Mythbusters proved that you can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's awesome.
Man, see, that was
one of my favorite.
the best part of that show is like absolutely blowing things out of the water and bringing you the truth to science, because that's all you ever really wanted to do was like test if these movie theories were correct. And
I've got to say though,
thank God for
like,
these dudes.
Aside from Mythbusters though, like, I mean, James very diligently, probably more diligently than anybody else on this show, went off and found clips about Grant Imahara. And I was watching through that video. I mean, that robot that he built for the Late Show was freaking awesome, man. I mean, this dude built a freaking robot. Like, the skills of the dude are quite impressive.
It also comes back from his start where he was busy with BattleBots and Robot Wars. And all of his creations in that, like, I mean, like if that's one way to get into electrical engineering, it's engineering in general, is just to get giant metal things bashing on each other and then calling it dead blow on top of that.
There was also, if I'm not mistaken, though, there was a story that was circulating about Grant like a couple of years ago, because he was making this like what he called his spider of death. It was this like robotic spider that was the size of like a bed, basically. And apparently the story goes that he almost killed himself in his own house because he was busy testing the thing one evening with no one around, and he was seeing what the thing can do, and it almost crushed him. So I mean, like, look, the guy was like, you know what the thing is? Grant Imahara was like literally one spilt toxic vat away from being an evil guy in any comic book. Like, he was just,
or a superhero, or a superhero. You know,
What's that mutant fish in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Yeah, let's say that mutant fish and sand pile.
Yeah, let us be fair though. I mean, if you fall into a vat of toxic waste, you tend to come out evil. You know,
yeah, let's just be honest.
You become a hero. You fall into a vat of toxic waste, you become a bad guy. It's like, you know.
Oh, not at all.
Whose origin story was that?
That was
Joker.
Yeah.
Was it Joker?
Yeah.
Well, Joker's got about 3,000 origin stories now. But anyway, Grant, you've been biting at the bit to tell us what your favorite episode of Mythbusters has been.
Yes. So when I was busy looking for clips today, my first go-to, one of my favorite episodes with Grant Imahara in, was the seasickness episode, where they were testing seasick remedies. But I couldn't find, for the life of me, a clip. Which is unfortunate because Grant Imahara used to get so seasick, like he at the drop of a hat, and he was the perfect test subject for this thing. But it was basically just to get the clip of him chundering, to be completely honest.
If it makes you feel any better, I do actually have a clip of Grant Imahara chundering.
Is this from, by any chance, the hangover test?
Yes.
I saw that clip as well. They took him for the hangover test and they put him in the seasickness chair. And he apparently just threw up because of the bad memories. But just roll the clip, and then I'll talk about my second favorite clip.
Well, I have a few clips for you here. There's some top clips from some of the great Mythbusters episodes featuring Grant Imahara. The first one that we got for you is, can a hammer splinter? So apparently this is a whole myth that people are worried that if you knock a hammer too hard or whatever, it can splinter and cause like metal shards to go flying across the workshop. So this was them testing that theory out.
Clearly, we're not in any imminent danger based on these few tests here. So we're going to step.
One might call that foreshadowing.
And, give it a crack ourselves.
Yes.
Clearly, we're not in any imminent danger.
Tori thinks he'll drive. But that was a tad off.
I was just like,
that's a damn good hammer. That's a really good hammer throw there. Just took it right from the back and wound it up. Got it one time.
He completely missed the nail, but
I hit the same.
Oh yeah.
Twice.
It's worth noting
I didn't see that.
goes unpunished.
He took a hammer to the shin.
Stay backstage with you guys.
Oh, you just needed to get that one in, didn't you?
Tori finally hits the nail on.
Jeez.
We have plenty of information on his velocity, if not his accuracy.
High-speed replays clock Tori's mighty swing at 16 meters per second, which is no faster than the robot. So speed at impact clearly isn't the problem.
So I have no idea whether or not this myth got busted because I could only find that much of the clip. I'm sorry. But if you...
Why have we hired you?
Why did we hire you?
I mean, I took it just for the value of watching Grant Shin be impacted by a hammer. As Sean.
True, that was like pretty awful.
Yeah. Anyway,
my second
we all have a Grant we'd like to see impacted by a hammer, I'm sure.
There we go. Hey. This is my
guy.
second favorite clip. This is my second favorite clip by Grant Imahara. Is they went full tilt in testing the brace position in airplanes, and to see whether it actually works or whether it is just deployed by airlines to allow people to die a quick death so they don't have to pay out damages, basically. And they went full hog and took a whole section of a plane with the seats, and they had the team in it, and Grant was the one to set them off. And it was so insane that they actually went to this level.
Thanks for explaining the whole video that we're about to watch, Grant. That
Well, it's my favorite. I love to hear a storyline just before I watch the movie. It's my favorite. You know what? I'm prepared for it all now. The highs, the lows.
I think, Grant, if I ever watch a movie again, I'm going to ask you to actually just write me up a review describing the whole movie before we watch it. That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Anyway,
I'm excited, okay?
Here's the killer brace position.
Guys, I got a good one. While flying this weekend, I actually heard a really interesting myth while I was reading my emergency safety card. The guy next to me, conspiracy theory style, that the brace positions that you have to get into on the commercial airlines when you're crashing into land or water are actually to kill you. It's so that when you're crashing, your neck will instantly break.
I actually have heard this
because
myth
it's actually
before.
cheaper to pay out for a wrongful death suit than using.
I mean, that is why they say you bend over and kiss your ass goodbye.
One thing we do is basically we'll build a gantry, put the seats on it, we'll get a crane and vertically drop it. All we have to get is 35 feet per second. And, you know, for 1 second, if we drop it for 1 second, we're going to get some serious G-force.
Hey, let's raise it up.
I mean,
really bad.
Look at that.
Oh,
imagine this is your day job.
Yeah.
It's like, you hear Carrie there saying it's like
a little high, but I think you guys are in good shape. I would be right up there with you if it wasn't for that prior back injury and the insurance people.
Sure.
My mind. In 5, 4,
it's quite high.
3, 2.
Yeah.
1.
Jesus.
Surely they could have done that with crash test dummies. Surely this could have been done
But
with
then you
crash test
don't
dummies.
get the sweet, sweet view of Tori's face getting mangled.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But they all lived at least.
My best was
The good news is your seat absorbed a huge amount of
my
energy.
best was hearing Carrie at the beginning saying, "I promised my mom I wouldn't do any more stupid stuff on this show."
That energy would
kept all of us from having some type of head trauma because there's not a lot of holding yourself back with that kind of force. Even with those like 3 or 4 Gs or whatever we were pulling, we would not have been able to hold our heads back. So,
I mean, look at that go.
the worst thing was banging into the seat in front of me, and that really made it clear why you don't want your legs.
I wonder how much Grant must have loved holding that button at that moment in time, having been abused as he has been in the past.
Instead of my neck and head.
So it was like that initial punch hurt, but I mean, you know, I'd go higher.
So the myth that the brace is
So hardcore, I'll go higher.
What we found was in the economy class that braced is definitely safer than unbraced. And the first class is safer still than economy class. Plausible, confirmed, or busted?
This one's totally busted.
So there you go. If you are ever in a plane crash, brace. It's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you are ever in a plane crash, hope
If you're in
not
a plane
car
accident, I don't think anything's good for you, to be fair.
No, nothing is good for you.
I mean, relatively speaking, you know.
You find yourself in a very dire situation there.
Yeah.
All right. The next and last one, and I have to warn you, this is rough. Can you?
Ew.
So this comes from Shrek. And this one James found, by the way, and then messaged me and said, "Oh, hey, I can't download this clip. Can you do it?" So I innocently downloaded the clip.
And he's still angry about it.
Asked him if it needed to be edited. He said, "Yeah, it's a bit long, so we'll edit it." Just watch the clip.
All right, quick hit myth from the fan site. What do we have?
Well, the first one comes from the movie Shrek. Wax to make a candle.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
I'm interested. Please go on.
Okay, well, first, find out if earwax is flammable. And finally, we need to collect lots and lots of it.
And move on to stage 2, collecting enough to make a candle.
It's going out.
And unfortunately,
Okay, 23 seconds.
I'm kind of upset that it didn't work because, you know, they went through so much effort. Like, honestly.
Do you know, like, can you imagine that poor doctor sitting there with nothing but tweezers, picking in the entire, like, film crew's family ear? Like,
that was...
Hey, so listen, Doc, I know that you're a professional cleaning ears, but could you come and just do this for shits?
Can you collect it in a special collection for us? I need to say to everybody, as we warned, I think unfortunately Duncan has been load shed. So it's just the four of us now. It's just the four men standing.
I'm sure he'll be happy to join us. I'm sure he'll be happy to join us next week when we myth-bust the Fight Club myth. Can you make soap out of human fat?
Oh.
From so that's how we're going to gross you out next time, guys. You just stick around.
Yeah, George. Hello,
Hey,
Jordan. Did you like? At what point? I'd really need to know. Did you come into this whole show? Because, like, depending on your timing, you could either have a great time or you could be like finding the nearest bucket right now. Because that's
you could be pulling a Grant Imahara right now in your very lounge.
Or Grant Powers. Like, I won't lie, I was ready to jump.
You were. So,
I don't know if I was laughing or retching.
I only bring you the good stuff, really, don't I, guys?
Can I just say now, you can feel my pain as I was sitting there in the editor suite going, oh, where's the right frame? Which is the right, where should I cut this? Where should I do it after the close-up of the earwax or just before?
oh my God. You know what? On that bombshell, I think that brings us back to the end of our little Mythbusters tribute. Of course, all our thoughts and prayers and love go out to the Mythbuster family and to the Imahara family. He was a great guy, and from all of us at Duck and COVID, like, we salute you. Like, you really did the good stuff, man. And we'll miss you.
Yeah.
But on that, I think it's time for our extra lessons for Tuesday. Let's go into it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday's Chappie Wrapper Tuesday. Chappie Wrapper Tuesday. As you can see, my ability to English is not on top of its game today. But let's move straight in to the wonderful facts that we have found to excite and entertain.
Scared to say it again.
This evening. When we start,
he doesn't want to say it again.
We start with a very interesting fact this evening on Chappie Wrapper Tuesday. All right, and that is that pregnancy tests date back to 1350 before current era, BC.
What?
What? What
Wow.
did they do? Pee on some wheat and it turned green? I mean, how? What? How?
Did you literally
Explain.
just take that from the picture?
That's actually, I suppose the picture might have given some of it away, but based on ancient papyrus documentation, Egyptian women urinated on wheat and barley seeds to determine if they were pregnant or not. According to the Office of History, the National Institutes of Health, if wheat grew, it predicted a female baby. If barley grew, it predicted a male baby. And if the woman was not pregnant, then nothing grew. Experimenting with this theory in 1963 proved that it was accurate 70% of the time.
No, it was not.
70%?
That's nonsense.
According to studies done in 1963, it was accurate 70% of the time.
So you could basically, if you got a whole bunch of women who are having baby boys, you could literally start a brewery.
Basically, yeah, I guess so. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, you could.
James,
just
you're
look out
just,
for
you're just on top of the Koch-worthy comments tonight, aren't you? Jeez.
No, just look out because,
Sorry, I'm
like
having
in
a
the
day.
headline, in the headlines over the next couple of days is going to be multiple women giving birth to baby boys have gone missing in the Cape Town area as James tries to find a way to supplement his lack of alcohol.
Why would they go missing? They definitely would not go missing. They come of their own volition.
I did actually want to ask James about Cape Town. There was that liquor store that was broken into last night, and all of the more expensive whiskeys disappeared too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, of course you don't. Of course you don't. Anyway, the one thing that I found interesting, James, as James so clearly pointed out, that if it's a baby boy, then it is barley, which they make beer out of. So, I dare say, so that I can, completely just destroy the fact that we're all gender equal here. Wheat is used to bake bread. So if you're having a girl, kitchen. If you're having a boy, beer. That's what happens.
Just a little factoid here. You can test for diabetes by peeing into a bowl and leaving it outside. If the flies come, you're diabetic.
What? I
would also like to say that the views expressed in Duck and Cover do not necessarily represent the views of Duck and Covered as a whole. just based on the whole bread beer comment thing. We
not to offend, and if you are offended,
listen. It'll work only 70% of the time, won't it?
Yes.
So,
I mean, that's a lot of people would take 70% on a test. That's
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, moving on. Before we get completely sidewinded.
Thanks.
This is one for the cat lovers out there. Thomas Edison is the reason that you love cat videos. That's right. Thanks to Edison's invention of the kinetograph in 1892, he was able to record and watch moving images for the first time. He filmed short clips in his studio named Black Maria. Some of his shorts featured famous people like Annie Oakley and Buffalo Bill, but the real stars are the boxing cats, circa 1894. All right. So yes, he made
cats box.
Well, I'm not sure whether he made cats box.
How long do you think?
Did he put little gloves on them and then make them fight? Or I'm not quite. I think I'm missing the point of boxing cats.
I'll tell you what. Just because you asked, and I
they're
think
in like little shiny shorts.
Might be interesting. How's about we do ourselves a favor, right?
Yeah.
And
design
and have a look.
Woo!
I mean, I for one am wow, they're in a ring and everything.
They're real.
This was Thomas Edison.
This was Edison.
Yes, it is.
From 1894. So
Oh my
there you
goodness.
go.
Wow. Like,
One
how
of the
bored
smartest
were
people.
you?
That is
You made a boxing ring for them and everything. Guys, I need to interject here. Jordash, you were indeed late to the party because Doug spoke about this, as well as mentioned. So, yeah,
Loved
tune in. The
chocolate
moment
log.
of silence was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just wondering, I mean, apart from boxing cats, how long do you think it took for him to record someone's genitals?
What?
Well, I mean, you know.
Moving on to our next fact. This fact is also to do with kitties, but of a slightly different type. And that is that
Doug, no.
The MGM Raw is trademarked. At the start of any movie made by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, there's the iconic lion that roars at the audience. While MGM has gone through several iterations of lion mascots, the sound of the roar is always the same. The company's trademarked the sound mark with the United States Patent Office and Trademark Office in the 80s. So that's it. So
do you think that there are a whole bunch of trademark lawyers wandering around Kruger, like notifying lions that they are infringing upon MGM's trademark, and then promptly getting eaten? That I would watch that show. I would watch that show.
Well,
Survivor, the trademark lawyer edition.
You know what
it has to be a very specific role.
Of the ocean.
What do they call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean?
Yes.
What?
A good start.
Yay! And guys, did you know? Can a matchbox? No, but a tin can.
Okay, cat.
That was for the cats. The previous one.
Matt loved that.
Couldn't get it in.
Okay.
We now have
but everything's trademarked, isn't it?
Right. This is interesting. The first stroller, that's the first baby stroller, was pulled by a goat. Right? So
why?
This is one of right. Okay, so what happened? Right. Okay, is William Kent, who was a landscape architect, invented the first stroller for the 3rd Duke of Devonshire in 1733, and he designed it the same way you do a horse and carriage, right? Okay, except he miniaturized it and used a goat instead. By the mid-18th century, the strollers were still pretty unstable, but some guy decided, listen, having the goat pulling it's not such a great idea, so let's put handles on the back and let the parents push it themselves.
How many babies do you think died before they've decided that maybe the goat was a bad idea?
I wonder how many goats try to take them up a mountain. What? With them.
Would you trust a goat with your baby's life? I would not.
I wouldn't trust most humans with my baby's life, you know.
I wouldn't trust myself with my baby's life.
I mean, if the little bugger has not slept for 3 nights in a row, okay, and has like straight diarrhea, well, goat can have it. Right?
You'll tie him to the goat.
There you go.
Got a question here from Wayne. How do you stop a lawyer from drowning?
You don't.
How do you stop? Oh.
The answer will pop up. I know the answer because he's my brother. But yeah,
I've got a question for you. What's the difference between a bass and a lawyer?
No.
When a bass opens its mouth, it's not lying.
No, but sure. No, one's a bottom-feeding, scum-sucking algae eater. The other's just a fish.
Yeah.
I see.
Hey, guys.
You take your foot off his head. That's how you stop him from drowning.
This is a lot of lawyer hate happening here, man.
Yeah, sorry if you're
going
lawyer,
on?
by the way.
So we should probably move quickly to our last fact, which is quite an interesting one. Right? That is that Irish bars used to be closed on St. Patrick's Day. Right?
Rubbish.
So while you might associate St. Patrick's Day with wearing green and drinking so much that you can actually see leprechauns, it wasn't until 1961. Right before 1961, there were laws in Ireland that banned bars from opening on March 17th, since the holiday falls during the period of Lent in the heavily Catholic country. The idea of binge drinking seemed a bit immoral.
Yeah.
Right,
And then
so
they all realized that closing the bars was the worst idea that they ever had. So now they get absolutely pissed on that day to never forget how bad that idea was of closing the bars.
Which is ironic.
Just
Generally
closing the
you
bars in
drink
Ireland.
instead.
Yeah.
People.
Well, I know. Not for the Irish. Not for the Irish. You drink
I
as a
think
sport
maybe all the
there.
Irish just decided to not give up alcohol for Lent so that the bars could open.
Yeah.
Well, the way I see it, if they're drinking in the bar, then at least they're in an enclosed space. It's better than them being on the street, walking down High Street.
True.
I mean,
I mean, the problem is that at some point you're going to have to leave the bar and then go down the high street.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true.
So sooner rather or later, really.
As an Irishman walking home from the pub, the thing you got to take most care of is to make sure your hands aren't trodden on.
I have a question. Did anybody or has anybody ever tried green beer?
Yes.
No, what's that?
Green beer?
Yeah, on St. Paddy's Day, all of the bars sell green beer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just colouring, yeah.
Castle with a little bit of green food colouring in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it doesn't make it taste cuck or anything. It's
Which means you'll have
No.
green soup
No.
the next day.
That's all it is.
I was just wondering.
Green food colouring. Anyway,
I have an inquisitive mind.
Oh,
that is
man.
all the time we have for our facts, I'm afraid.
Well, that was excellent, Doug.
So I hope everybody enjoyed them. Yes. And we can go back to our studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I swear that the beginning of the extra lesson song goes, Doug, Doug, Doug.
For today's one,
Damn it. My plan to subliminally message everyone has been uncovered.
I thought so.
Curses.
I'm just gonna be
Curses.
thinking about wait, who did your graphics, Doug? Your graphics were amazing. I really like that. Like, that made me feel weird inside in a good way.
Oh, you mean the graphics?
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a graphic designer, Matt.
No, I didn't do those. I didn't do those. I think those probably came from an article, not wanting to
reveal too much.
expose Doug's methods. Yeah, but
Oh no, those were certainly most certainly found on the internet. If you really think that I'm going to put in the effort of creating my own imagery, then no.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your answer.
On that bombshell.
I need to get something off my chest though before we go any further with any of this.
Yes.
It has been
That hideous sweater.
Ah.
I'm joking.
Wow, that
I
was
just had to
mean.
make the joke.
That was mean. That was so mean.
I know. It's a lovely sweater.
It was
Let us know, Matt. What do you have to get off your chest?
I your ass. No, for 2 nights now, I have been sitting in front of this camera with a chain, and not one person has made a comment.
What change?
Did you have a haircut? It's definitely not the sweater.
No.
Was it your haircut?
He most certainly did not. He got a hair dye.
I Does that look
He
like
was-
my hair color?
It's supposed to have. He's supposed to have a white strip in it, just for the record.
I
you
know.
we're
I am.
just
I am
saying.
supposed to do the white strip. What the hell was that?
What happened there? No, I don't know.
You totally stopped. So I just want to say from last week, if anybody was watching the whole thing about dyeing my hair, I followed through on that shit, and nobody
There's
noticed.
supposed to be a white stripe. There's supposed to be a white stripe.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I mean, it was traumatic enough getting it wrong the first time. I have to say, like,
On top
So
of that,
the
dude, I
story
don't
of
mean to
that-
be rude, but
Oh,
the
dear.
lighting is just not good enough for us to really see. Like, you know, I think you need to get some lighting experts in there and like just like really.
Yeah. Do you know any
We're
good
never,
people
we're
for
never going to
lighting,
live
Matt?
this down. We're never going to live this down.
Anyway, but since we were talking about graphic design, I did want to share with our audience something that our co-host very kindly made for us. Right, his name is James McGregor, and he very kindly made this this little thing for us that I thought we should watch because it's
What have you
fun.
done? What have you done? What have you done? Oh, right. Oh, thank goodness. It's not the other thing that I thought you were going to show. Right.
Oh dear.
This is a video I made for
For the future.
For the
will
future,
hopefully
yes.
be in our future and for everyone to enjoy thoroughly every day.
Consider this a sneak peek of things to come. We have been working feverishly in the background.
If not, it's going to make us laugh every time.
So,
you know?
yes. So we were talking about some changes coming along. They are in the pipeline, and that was a little teaser for you of what is what we've got. You know, lined up.
And if you want to see it, you can go to our OnlyFans page. Ah.
We can, because I'm
Yes,
about
Doug.
to, I've got to rush these things along because I am about to be load shedded myself. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to everybody, please, can you join join us in supporting this wonderful charity, People for Purpose, who are looking after the crew who are contract workers and therefore do not qualify for UIF and are having a difficult time of feeding themselves. That's right. If you want to help the real people of theatre, help them by getting in touch on help@feedourcrew.co.za, People for Purpose, or you can donate to the First National Bank People for Purpose account 627-894-00571 with your reference Feed Our Crew to help keep people from starving to death. All right.
Yep. Also, if you're watching on YouTube or if you enjoy the show and you love us, hop onto YouTube for us, drop the subscribe button, and also hit a like on the videos. They'll be uploaded every morning from now on, so you can capture all the wonderful moments over and over again. They'll also be here on Unseen on Facebook, obviously.
Yes, because James is in control of uploading the videos, which means it happens a lot more regularly than when I was doing it. So
yes.
But also, James has now shot himself in the foot to make sure the videos get uploaded every morning. Best of luck.
I would like to, yes,
Like
I
and
would like to point
subscribe.
out that if it is not there, please get onto our page, right, and say
And let
James
us know.
McGregor, where is the video? All right.
You know,
Complain
I
to
think I'm
the
actually-
manager, Karen, to the world.
No. I'm going to go get a lawyer to go and watch this episode, and then I'm going to get the lawyer to fight for me, and then we're going to have a talk about this.
Just take your foot off his neck first, and then. And on that note, bye everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're Duck and Covered. Stay sane, stay safe, and stay sexy.